So let's talk about the big thing for me this week. Ukulele. I am a Kickstarter backer for Ukulele, and barring the super annoying Kickstarter message they sent out that was like, "Oh yeah, um, if you we're gonna send out download codes soon," and they never did, and I had to wait for the actual game to release. Whatever, fine, whatever. Barring that, I love Ukulele. I think it's really, 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 really good. There are a lot of caveats with that though. In particular, like I kind of mentioned earlier in the show, I played Rare Replay, what was it, a year and a half ago, and I played through Banjo Kazooie, one of my favorite games of all time. I played through 100% of the game without a guide because I've done it like 16,000 times. Love that game. I did that recently, right? And I enjoyed that recently. I still really enjoyed that recently. So I'm fine going into a game like this and playing a 3D platformer from 1999, right? And that's what it is. And it doesn't necessarily change or improve much, I would have to say, but I don't think it needs to. Like, the camera's fine. I think that there's a few areas where the camera's weird, but I think they patched any problems they had prior to release. And now that's fine, right? The camera works fine. The game overall is fine. There were a lot of complaints I heard too about the casino world is what people said, and being bad, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed every single world in the game, of which there are 5, which is a low number, and we'll get into that I guess in a second. And they're all themed, right? So this is the jungly place, and it's got temples and stuff, and this is the snowy level, and this is the intro that's overly long. And then what is it? The little swamp that's kind of spooky, but not really that spooky. And then what is it? The casino, and then the space adventure whatever place. And that's all cool, but none of them really, to me, are super, super memorable in the grand scheme of things. I'll equate it to Banjo-Kazooie. The first world of Banjo-Kazooie is only memorable to me because I've played the game 20-something times, and it's the first part of it, right? But as a cornerstone of that game of like, oh, remember that world? It's not there. Like, you remember Treasure Trove Cove, which is the second world, or you remember Bubblegloop Swamp, or you remember like Clanker's Cavern, or the Click-Clock Wood at the very end. Or Rusty Bucket Bay. I'm basically naming all the Freezeezy Peak, Mad Monster Mansion. What's the name of the desert one? Gobi Desert? I don't know. The desert one I'm not a huge fan of. But like Freezeezy Peak, one of my favorite levels in any game like this. And I don't think any of the levels here really reach that to me. And there are only 5 of them. Now, it should be mentioned they're expandable. So you go into them, they have their little stuff and whatever, and then you expand them with pages, which are jiggies. There's a banjo equivalent in this game of everything. You expand them, and it's different. Like the first world, oh, here's this tower now is giant, and here's this other platform you can go on, and the second world has 2 locked doors that unlock, and there's like a whole castle over there for you to explore, which is full of things. Like, it's not the expansions aren't small. The third world's expansion adds a bunch of stuff. Same with the fourth one, which the fourth one didn't really add that much, unless I missed it, which is possible. It's kind of dense and confused. Maybe that's why people don't like it. And then the 5th one adds a bunch of stuff like that too. Like, they really add a lot, and it never to me felt like Banjo-Tooie, where I was lost and confused in these worlds and didn't know like why or where to go, or like where, like what the fuck am I even doing? Like, it always felt open enough where I could see everything, go, okay, I haven't been over there, I have been over there, let me explore. And it really is the game for that type of gamer, me, where you go into a level and like, okay, I'm gonna explore every single path here, and I'm gonna go to the end of this mountain and jump all up of it and see what's over there, and enjoy that entire experience, and see like, oh, is there a pagey over here? Oh, okay, there is, or there isn't. Maybe this gets expanded later, and sometimes it does, but oftentimes it doesn't. And you're meeting all these characters, and the characters aren't as amazing as Banjo-Kazooie, or even Banjo-Tooie characters. I was looking at a character sheet of Banjo-Tooie, and I was like, I remember a lot of these guys. Like, this game, I don't know. There's like some pigs, and they're dumb, and there's like the shopping carts. Those are funny, I guess, but they're not super memorable characters. They're never. There's the scientist who's kind of like, what's his face? The shaman guy? I forget his name. Oh well. So it's getting old, I guess. Not as memorable as him, who I forgot his name of. So is he even memorable at all? Mumbo Jumbo. There, he is memorable, and I forgot his name. But like that aside, they're still interesting. They're still cool. The worlds are still giant and beautiful, just beautiful. It's so cool to see this style, which is not done like ever nowadays. This weird cell shading 3D platforming style. It's gorgeous. I love how it looks, and it runs super well. I'm playing on PC. That's all fine. And they never get, that's where I was going. They never get all like bogged down with a bunch of crap like Tooie. A lot of the levels, and maybe to their detriment to some people, feel very sectioned off, or almost hub worlds in their own right, where like, oh, this is the central place I'm going, and then there's this linear path that goes that way and then back. This one, that way and back, that way and back, that way and back. Like, so it's sectioned, especially stuff like the casino. It's just a bunch of rooms along the side of the casino and the middle of the casino. So you can just go and do all the rooms on the side and then go back. Like, you're not going to get lost because it's a linear, it just loops you back to where you were. And that's nice. It's super great for exploring. It does things that Banjo-Tooie did poorly, like the dinosaur world, where you kept going into doors and I didn't know where the hell I was ending up or where I was going, and all these strange directions. It doesn't have the super annoying garbage from Tooie where like a train comes in, you gotta get me on the train, and then you move them over the train to the other train track. I'm like, this is stupid. Why is this here? I don't like puzzles like this. For the most part, I really like a lot of the puzzles. I think Trousers right here, or Trouser, not Trousers, is one of the few really super memorable characters. But the puzzles are not as obtuse for the most part. You should be able to, if you played games like this, which I don't know why you bought it if you weren't, but maybe if you played a game like this before, you've explored things like this. You've solved these puzzles. You know, like, I'm gonna hit that with this, and it becomes later on where you're like, oh, that this is gonna sound really weird, but there's glass that you can break, and then there's ice that you can burn, and they look very similar. Like, it's like a block of ice on something, and I'm like trying to burn it and it's not working. Or it'll be glass, and I'm trying to do the thing that breaks the glass, and it's like, oh no, that's ice. The fuck is this? But that brings me to the new moves, right? They got rid of that stupid garbage in Tooie where you got 16 different types of things, but they added it in a smart way where you can lick your little tongue because you're a chameleon thing, and you get those abilities. And you can you can lick the grenade plants, and then you can have grenades, and those blow up blocks, and you have to run where you need to go with the fire to light something on fire, and then, oh, this platform is on fire, so let me lick the water, and I can shoot water. It does that. Super smart. Loved that. And there's also other things too, because you're a super awesome chameleon. One of the abilities you get is turning invisible. There's a bunch of abilities like that. And the other thing you can do with your little tongue is, the cool health mechanic where the butterflies, if you lick them, they heal you. Like, if you eat them, they heal you. If you just run into them, they restore your little power bar stamina. So things like rolling around on Yooka-Laylee to move quickly uses stamina. The invisibility uses stamina, stuff like that. And the stamina recovers after kind of a cooldown. And that's a much better system than ammo. Or like the grenade stuff that you lick the plants, that's limited time. So you can just go back and lick the plant. That works great. The other things you can lick are things like honey, which you can't shoot honey, but it coats your body. And now you can stick to things you couldn't stick to before. Or you can lick up these cannonballs, for some reason, cannonballs. And now you're heavy and wind won't blow you off of platforms. So that's for a little puzzle. Stuff like that is super awesome, and I loved finding new things and exploring and going into the world like, okay, I'm gonna lick this and jump over there, and just the joy. There's so many great moments of pure platforming, jumping around, solving its little, like, if I jump now, okay, like so good. I think the transformations are overall pretty good. They don't go crazy like Tui did, where like you can't leave the worlds with these transformations. So that's, I think, an improvement overall. It was never, I'm a washing machine. What does that mean? Well, now I gotta walk over here and walk over here and walk over here and walk over here. It's like each level has its own transformation, and they also have like the transformation puzzles, I guess I could say. It's like, oh, I'm going to transform now, and I'm going to do the 3 or 4 activities that I know of nearby that need the transformation. And that's super great way of handling it to me. It never felt overwhelming. It was always the last thing I did in the world was, I'm going to transform and see what this does. And maybe I'm missing a bunch of things. There are, I think the most I have in a world is like 19 out of 25 of the pages. There are certain things I still don't know how to do, how to collect some of the Ghost Riders, which are the Jinjo. I don't know how to collect all of them yet. I don't even know. I could beat the game. I don't know how to collect 2 of the colors of them. It's like, you got to figure out how to get them. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how to do it though. Oh, I might have figured out one just now. I'll try that. That actually makes a lot of sense. And okay, but that still leaves one that I don't know. And so like one you have to walk into, one you have to feed with anything, just feed it something. And then one you have to chase. And then the other 2 I don't know. One just keeps trying to fight me. I don't know what that means. Why is he so mean to me? The other one I think I might have figured out, but he hides. So that's a cool change. And they make the little like, I can't do it. It's like a really high pitched squeaky noise that I can't do after talking for this long. Or maybe ever. When they're nearby. And it does, speaking of sounds and stuff, sound effects amazing, music fantastic. There's so many times in the music where it'll start doing notes that you're like, it's this from Kazooie, or like, ah, it's doing a thing, and then it kind of deviates, but it's so cool. And it's Banjo. It's Banjo 3E music. Phenomenal work on that. I guess we'll maybe move into criticism a little bit. It could use not a map, but it could use like a list of things I've accomplished in a world. So if I looked at the first world and it's just like, hey, you have this pagey, you have the pagey for helping so-and-so, like winning the race against the Cloud Man. You got that one. I would like that, because at a certain point, have I beaten the arcade in this one? I don't know. Did I? I think I did. And then you have to go into it and see, and like, oh, I guess I did, but you don't really know that. There's no way to see if you've done it without going back to that and looking at it. So I kind of like that system. I don't necessarily want it to be, hey, you have an incomplete quest right here. Why don't you talk to Squiggly Man? I don't necessarily want that. I just want to know what I've accomplished so I can look at it and go, oh, there's probably something over there because I haven't accomplished anything over there. Kind of the inverse way of explaining something to a player. Let's see, I have written down some notes over here. Each world takes about 4 hours for me to fully explore, I would say, give or take. And some I kind of missed some things, and well, all of them I missed some things. One world actually did get all of the quills, which are the notes. I wasn't even trying to. That does net you a pagey. That's cool, I guess. And they don't seem very difficult to find everything like that. It will be difficult without using a guide, I think, to find every single thing, because there's 25 in each world. And even though one is a minecart, and the minecart's good but not amazing, one's a minecart, 2 are the retro arcade games, which are kind of terrible or okay, and some are decent, but that's not really. So that's another one. One is a pagey for all the Jinjo guys, and one is a pagey for all the notes or quills. So that's 5 pages. So it's really 20 pages for everything that's in the world, plus the expansion of the world. You're going to miss some things. You're going to miss a few things. I think there are certain chameleon abilities that should have been used more, in my opinion, especially during... I guess I'll just skip to that. The final boss, which is terrible. Every single Banjo game has a terrible final boss. It's really kind of... I don't know if it's intentional. The first Kazooie, not very good. Kind of too long. Tui, borderline, I quit the game. It's so terrible. And I'd gotten that far, man. The final boss in Banjo-Tooie is horrifyingly bad. Like, someone needs to be slapped, like How I Met Your Mother, slap bet slapped. This is not okay. The Banjo-Tooie final boss is not okay. And this boss is also not great. It's very much memorize everything you have to do against it. And it starts doing these things. Like, I got stuck at the very end because I didn't know what to do. Because it uses the same 3 or 4 moves. But you learn like 15 different moves, man. I would have loved to use some of those other moves instead of just using the invincibility shield or the shooting. Like, you shoot fire and water and grenades and all these things in the game, and the final boss is like, oh, just shoot frost in one stage of it. And I'm like, all right, I guess. Like, I think I could have used the boss to be half as long but more interesting, if that makes any sense. Like, it's bad. And I think it took me an hour. It took me an hour to fight the final boss 5-6 times. And even when you do it, even when you successfully beat the boss, it's still like a 10-minute fight. Crazy. I guess while I'm talking stats, I have my stats written down. 16 hours I put into the game. 1 hour is the final boss. I got 100 pages, which is the minimum you need to get into the final boss. So I figured, okay, fine. I'll just do it now. And that was this morning. 927 quills, which is out of, I think, 1,100 something? Too much Jacob. Not enough Lele. Sorry, I didn't see that. Got distracted by ukulele. The reviews are very funny. I know what you're saying with the not enough water. The reviews are very, very funny because they're all over the place, and it feels like there are problems with this game, but I think it's so solid, and I really enjoyed my time with it. Like, I wouldn't have put 16 hours in this stupid game if I didn't like it. I wouldn't have kickstarted it either. Also, I just mentioned 100 pages. That's out of 145. Too much bail, not enough net up. Man, I'm telling you. Bayonetta's next. Bayonetta's fantastic. Better than ukulele, unfortunately. How many more of these are you gonna come back at me with? I don't think I have a couple other notes. Oh, they keep doing this thing. They started doing this in Tooie as well, where there's a lot of combat for no reason, and it's not fun at all to do the combat in ukulele. Just like normal enemies, these eyes will jump on objects in the world, and then they'll like, oh, now it's a snowman with evil eyes, so the snowman's fighting you, or now it's a weird pumpkin, and now it's fighting you. Okay, that's cool, and I like that. That's an interesting idea, but fighting them is so annoying. It's not fun at all. Half the time they don't drop health. It's not beneficial for you to fight them anyway. So they're either super annoying to fight or they're just basic. I don't really understand kind of the motivation with all that. It's really strange to me. I don't know if I'll ever understand that. That's my note. I'm like, what's this about? Oh, there's other bosses in the game too. That's what's kind of frustrating about all the bosses, because I mentioned the final boss being terrible, but the other bosses are also kind of not great. They do this weird thing where I think every boss does this that I played, where I'm like, am I doing this right? I don't know. And then you get hit by things because not because you like ran into something, but because you can't turn. Like, there's this one boss where you're fighting it in a transformation and you can't go backwards, you can only go forward. So you have to move out of the way, right? But you can't move out of the way because it's coming at you, so you're going to hit it. You either don't move and you get hit, or you do move and you get hit because it's in the way and you can't turn around weird. Like, all of them kind of have that strange issue of, like, I understand this is a 3D platformer of an older era, but you could kind of fix that a little bit. Yeah, I think, and I mean, to be honest, I kickstarted the game for, it was like 35 euros or something. I don't even know what that is. And I got the toy box and all those garbage. I got a couple other rewards. It was just the basic, it was like the basic plus thing. But to me, I love Banjo. I love those games. I wanted to encourage this. I didn't know when I kickstarted it would become like super insanely successful. So like, I didn't need to kickstart this, but I wanted to play the toy box really mainly. That's why I did it. And I do agree with that, because $40, is that even the price of the game? I think it is. It's hard to say. When you buy a game 2 years ago, it's hard to say how much it really is, now. Yeah, it is $40. I would say, but that's the thing. I got 16 hours worth of enjoyment on this. I'm not done with it. I'm going to go back into the worlds. Like, all I did in that 16 hours was fully explore with my limited abilities, right? So you get new abilities in each world, and you can use them in the previous one. Not to do a ton of stuff, but there are things there. Or you'll just learn new mechanics. Like, I just learned how to pick up one of the stupid things that's in every level. I think, maybe. So there's something to go back for. I never did. I did all the worlds and I beat the final boss, and I need to go back into each world and kind of explore again. There's also one section I completely missed in the first world because I forgot about it. So that's a couple pages right there. And I think it's a lot of fun if that's the game. Like, this is very much, if you don't think you're going to like this, you're probably not going to like this. Like, it really is for Banjo-Kazooie fans. This is not for anyone else. Like, this is very much, and maybe it is for other people. Maybe other people play it and like it. But if you're expecting Mario Galaxy or Psychonauts or any of those games, it's really, no, it is Banjo 3E. Like, this is not anything else. It is not trying to be anything more. It's unabashedly that. Yeah, I think it is for it all. I think you're right. I think on a Steam sale or a PSN sale or whatever, $30 is fair. I think $40 is a little high for a game like this. $20 is like super good deal. I think $20, you should pick this up if you liked those games in the past, or you like 3D platformers, or you're waiting for Mario Odyssey to come out. It totally works for that. What else about the price? I was gonna say something about the price. Well, I don't know. The train of thought goes away. It's got great design of these super lush environments. That's one of those things that you see at the very beginning and you don't know how to get to it. It's also one of those things that looks like ice but isn't ice. There's a ton of shit like that in the game. Like, this guy's stuck in ice. Let me run and get the fire. And I get the fire, and it's not ice. It's glass, which is stupid. Why does glass and fire look so similar in your game? Whatever. That's what I was going to say. I was listening to another review, and the reviewer mentioned that she played it for like 16 hours like I did, and had half as much stuff as I did, to get the 100 pages. So it seems like if you're someone like me who's like super into these games, you're going to burn through it a lot more quickly. If you're not just trained to run around like a buffoon and look in every nook and cranny and know kind of what the game's telling you, this could really be a long game. Like, there's a lot of stuff here. That being said, you might be annoyed by some of the things in it. There are bad bosses, bad missions where I'm like, I don't like the minecart stuff very much. It just starts being super annoying. And there's certain things too, and I'll read your comment in a second, but there are certain things where the game is like, oh, here's a mini game. Okay, fine. And I have to play the mini game for 3 or 4 minutes, and then it's like, here's a pagey. And you want to beat the high score? That's worth a pagey too. And I'm sitting here going, no, I don't. I don't want to play your terrible mini game. I didn't want to play it in the first place. There's one I quit playing. I quit playing because I died 2 minutes into it, and I didn't want to do it again. Like, I just had to survive for who knows how much longer, but I don't want to play the game. Like, there's a few things. That's why I don't think I'll ever 100% this game. It's just there's too many things. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do it. The 4th level's minecart level, I don't want to do it. I tried it for like 15, 20 minutes to do it. I don't want to. Like, there are several things like that, and they're all optional. Most of the main platforming stuff isn't like that. It's the weird minigame stuff that is just not good. Just not good. Oh wow, a Spyro HD or a Gex collection. A Gex collection I think is really out of the question. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but a Spyro, maybe. I mean, we're getting Jak and Daxter. We got Banjo or Crash Bandicoot. It's like a short circuit in my brain. I always call him Banjo, because that's the B name I'm thinking. But Crash Bandicoot coming out in like 2 months. So it could happen, but it wouldn't be PlayStation. It would be Activision, who owns Spyro, and that'd be weird because he's been all over the place now. But maybe it would be it'd be multi-plat or something. They could do it. It's possible, but I don't know. It also feels really late. But I guess Crash Bandicoot's also super freaking late. This is the first world of the game, and this is me racing against Doofus Man, the Cloud. It's fine. I fail a couple times. I'll be honest. I fail a couple times at this. Because this is one of the other things. Like the hit detection on these little butterflies, you'll see it. Where I'm rolling around. You have to collect the butterflies to restore your stamina bar, right? But the hit detection for them is so not lenient that I'm rolling like right next to them and it doesn't give it to me. But the whole minigame hinges on not running out of stamina. So it's weird little things like that. Just this kind of annoying frustration in certain respects. As much as I really do love the game, I do think it's fantastic. That's to me, and overall, I'm using that as like, I can look past the faults. I can like, I don't really care about that. Let's just ignore that. But looking at it kind of as a whole, there are a lot of warts along the side as much as I enjoyed playing it. And it's also like this roll move is not the Talon Trot from Banjo-Kazooie. It is not. That move, the Talon Trot, is so much better in Banjo-Kazooie. You can control it. It's quick, agile. It does a little wee jumping noise. That's great. This rolling thing is kind of all over the place. And especially at the beginning of the game, I felt like I was rolling all sorts of directions. Like it can turn on a dime almost, but sometimes it can't. It's just, that's the thing. But sometimes it doesn't work, is the entire Yooka-Laylee experience. Sometimes it doesn't work. That's not a good endorsement, to be honest. I did this race several times. I did it probably too many times. But where's the butterfly? They're coming up. I didn't get it. How did I not get the butterflies? I was walking right in them. It's stupid. It's dumb. I don't like it. I'm moving on. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of this stupid Yooka-Laylee land. I think this review's been like 30 minutes now. Unbelievable. I forgot to record things too. Well, that's too bad.